So this is Shawn of Union County Schools. We're going to be working on using different translating tools to accommodate your classroom to reach your English language learners. And my focus is going to be on Spanish speaking. However, it does not have to be just that language. So we're going to jump right in. And for this, we're going to look at how we can just take elements of our lessons that we're doing and use the translation tool. Now, this is definitely not a perfect situation where you're going to cure all issues, but this does allow us to kind of make more accommodations. So first one we're going to look at is translating our documents. So if I have a Google Doc, I can have a worksheet, I can have a test that I've already made, or this could be an assignment a student turned in, and I'll talk about that as well. So I have my paper. I can actually go over here to Tools at the top, and we can actually hit Translate Document. And it's going to ask me what language I want to select. So I'm going to go down to Spanish. And this is a good way if you're turning in papers for family members as well. If you have newsletters that are going home, you can actually translate those to actually go home. And it translates over. Now I have found that if it is a very large document, you might want to make sure you're scrolling through, because sometimes like the later half might not translate. And so you just kind of want to watch for that. And I don't speak Spanish, so I can't go through and proofread this to make sure it's done everything correctly. Most of the cases you're seeing that it's okay. But let's say that in the reverse of this is actually an assignment a student turned into me. I allowed them to go ahead and type it out in their native language. You can actually come back and do the exact same thing. We can come to Tools, and you can do Translate Document, and this time we're going to go to English. Now, when you go back and forth between translations, it does not always flow just perfectly, but you get the overall intention of your student when you go back and actually read it for that part. So you see there's some glitching going on, but something is always better than nothing. So this is one of our options, is using that translate option built into Google Documents. All right, the next thing we're going to look at is actually using Google Translate to display as you speak. So if I'm doing a lesson and I'm actually in translate.google.com, and you can actually get there through your apps that should be in there. So with the Translate app pulled up, and like I said, it should be in the waffle, you can actually hit the mic and it's going to actually start listening to you. So when you're in here, you can select the different language. So I'm going to select, I'm speaking in English, and my output is going to be translated into Spanish. And you can type here, and it's going to pull up different variations on what you might say, the frequency of use, and all that fun stuff. And you can actually hear it play back.
Hola.
But what you can do in addition to that is just hit the microphone and start talking. Now, as you're talking, it's going to continuously translate. At any point in time, you can hit stop and actually play
Y
back the
comience
audio.
a hablar ahora mientras habla, va a traducir continuamente los hits de tiempo de Greenpoint.
I never said Greenpoint, so you see that it is going to catch a couple errors. But what is really nice about this is if I'm taking time and I talk a little slower and I'm giving directions in front of class, I can actually have this on screen to help my student follow directions, pick up on the pieces that they need to. The other thing is the student could have this actually pulled up on a Chromebook, and if their room is quiet, they can do this exact same thing where they're having it translate to them. Periodically, you can actually take little snippets of the translation and pull it together. But what I would actually do is potentially have this pulled up. I just had that broken away just then, and place it at, attempt to place it off to the side of my screen in the front of the class and have it like that. And then just every so often clear it out, hit record, and continue what you were doing. So you see that's a option for us. Now, like I said, with any of these, this is not a permanent solution. This isn't the fix-all, but this is helpful items that we can. Now we can also take elements from our lessons. So I have a little sample here and just throw it into Translate and have it translated back too. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to copy, and I'm just going to paste what I'm needing, and then the same thing, I copy the translation and I come back and I paste over what I have, or I paste next to it. And so now I've translated this section for my students. So if you have certain pieces that don't translate over, like Google Doc, you can actually do the same process. Another option you actually have, and I have one loaded up, is you can translate documents. And so I have this one loaded up. I want to hit translate, and this is a PDF. So it takes all the words from it, so I don't have the graphics piece, and it translates it over. And I'll let you see that you do have different options here. And so that was a PDF. You can do docs, obviously, but you can actually pull in your PowerPoints and stuff, and it will translate the text off of there. And it's just another additional option for you. And lastly, your phone actually usually has a translate option. So this is really good for those one-on-one moments. You can actually pull up the translate tool, and you press mic on that, it'll actually listen to you, and you actually have it play back. And so you can actually record yourself making a statement.
Hola, ¿cómo estás hoy?
And actually I have my settings turned to actually play the translation. And then once you ask your question, you can actually press the mic for the student, or have the student press the mic, and they can do the same thing. So this is
Very
actually
good.
handy for both parties, for the teacher and student to be able to communicate back and forth a little easier. So it's neat options for you guys, and thank you for your time, and I hope these are helpful.
Hey, thank you for watching this video. Please click the like button and subscribe so you can stay up to date on any future videos.